Murder or suicide? That is the question in the shooting death of a young mother of 3 outside Denver. Ashley Fallis was her name, and her family is convinced that her husband fired the deadly bullet, but he insists that she killed herself. 48 Hours brings in its own forensic investigators to find some answers. Here's a preview of tomorrow night's report by correspondent Erin Moriarty.
It's recording!
At the beginning of their New Year's Eve party, ushering in 2012, there was no sign of any problems between Tom and Ashley Fallis, says her mother, Jenna.
There was a lot of laughter going on. They were having fun.
But Tom got angry later in the party because he thought one of Ashley's relatives had offered her marijuana.
We were the last ones to see Tom Fallis in a fit of rage. A fit of rage. Our daughter giving us hugs and goodbye kisses, and that's the last we saw our daughter.
Just minutes after Ashley's parents left, Tom and Ashley were in their bedroom with their 3 small children in the house. Tom told police he heard a shot. He was interviewed by investigators.
So while I was in the closet, I heard her gun cock, and I looked out. I was like, what are you doing? I just ran over to her and I just grabbed her head. And I called 911. I told them her address, and I told them that my wife shot herself.
He shot her. I know he shot her.
I did not shoot my wife.
Within days, the Evans police ruled it a suicide. Ashley's parents were outraged and wondered if Tom's job as a corrections officer with the sheriff's department had something to do with that.
Were you expecting Tom to be charged?
Yes. Oh, yes. We were shocked that they let him go.
Ashley's family's suspicions continued for the next 2 years. And then a local reporter with TV station KDVR named Justin Joseph got a tip. He began his own investigation and found witnesses who had seen and heard something startling.
I saw him walk out, and his parents were standing outside, and he's saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe I did it," 3 or 4 times, and then his parents said, "What? What are you saying?" And I remember I heard him distinctly say, "I shot her."
The new information led police to reopen the case with a different Colorado department investigating. And 48 Hours hired forensic animator Scott Roeder to review the available evidence and analyze whether this really was a suicide or something else.
What happened to her is consistent with suicide. It could be.
It could be, but somebody could have also pulled that trigger, and it could be a murder.
So do you believe the Evans Police Department rushed to judgment on this case?
Absolutely.
Erin Moriarty joins us at the table. So, Erin, they reopened the case. What happens now?
Well, he was, when they did a new investigation, but did it much later from the event, he was indicted, and he's been charged with murder. But the real problem is now is that they gave back evidence. They actually gave the gun back to him when they closed it as a suicide. But I think what happened here was that the Evans police, it's a small police department, and they violated this cardinal rule that when there's an unexplained death, you look at it first as a homicide, and then you rule that out, and then you can look at suicide. They did the opposite.
It does seem to be conflicting stories in your story.
Well, it is, and the problem is he is very convincing, and he was a member of the sheriff's department. He worked in corrections, and I think the police department, these young officers and small, inexperienced officers, took his word for it too quickly.
All right, we can see Saturday night what happens in this story. You can watch Erin's full report. It's called Death After Midnight. That's tomorrow night on 48 Hours. That's at 10 o'clock, 9 Central, right here on CBS.